Hey guys, it's Larissa Takchi, winner of MasterChef 2019, and I'm here with Castle Towers. Let me tell you about my latest obsession with these delicious Chai Sticky Buns. Think about the gooey pecan caramel pouring over those freshly baked scrolls. And the best part about this recipe? You can prepare this tonight for them to be freshly baked for tomorrow morning, which makes these sticky buns the perfect breakfast treat or even for an indulgent dessert. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our starter. Here I've got 1.5 cups of warm water. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, which I got from Coles supermarkets, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar. Now we're just gonna give that a stir to combine. Okay, so that's all combined. We're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes so that it becomes nice and frothy. While that's happening, we're gonna start on with our dough. Okay, so we're gonna add 4¼ cups of plain flour just into this bowl here. Now you wanna put it into a stand mixer bowl with a dough hook attachment. Okay, we're gonna add 2 pinches of sea salt. Let that flour and sea salt combine together. And now we're just gonna drizzle in 90 ml of olive oil until nicely combined. Okay, now we're gonna add our starter to the dough mixture. And as you can see, it has frothed up nicely. And now we're just gonna pour it in. Okay, so this dough has been mixing for a few minutes, and we just want to make sure that the dough is not too sticky. So it shouldn't stick to your fingers, but if it does stick to your fingers, it just means that the dough is too wet. So you can add a bit more flour to make sure that doesn't happen. And not to worry, if you don't have a stand mixer, you can always knead it by hand. Okay, now I'm gonna put our dough into a bowl. As you can see, I've already greased this bowl, and what that will do will help the dough come out when we have to roll it out. So in it goes, and just flatten that ever so slightly. I'm going to pop some cling film on the top of this, and we're gonna let this rest and rise for 2 hours in a warm spot. It's been 2 hours, and have a look at that. It's tripled in size. But before we're gonna roll this out, I'm going to make a quick spice mix to put that in the middle of our scrolls. Now first we're gonna add some brown sugar into the bowl. And here I have Gewürzhaus chai spice mix. Just mix that until it's fully combined. Perfect, so that's all mixed through, and now it's time to roll out the dough. And we're gonna use some plain flour just to dust lightly on this surface. Okay, so that's done. Now we're gonna pull the dough out of the bowl. Okay, so that's out, and we're gonna just flatten it ever so slightly. If it gets too sticky, just grab a bit of flour and just rub that between your hands. So we just wanna make a rough rectangular shape. We're going to add some butter. And now time to put the spice mix on. Now, as I said before, this spice mix is from Gewürzhaus. So you're so welcome to use any other spice mix that you'd like. They have so many options there. Okay, and that is about done. And now it's time to roll this up. So we're gonna start on this end and push all the way through. Okay, so that's all rolled up nicely. Grab yourself a sharp knife, and we're just gonna cut some rounds out of this log. I do find that if you flour your knife, it's easier to chop through and the dough doesn't stick. Okay, that's all of them done. So we're just gonna grab one of them, so into a nice round shape. Okay, that's the last one in. Now all we have to do is blab wrap this again and let it rise for 30 minutes until it's doubled in size. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes and these buns have risen up nicely. And now it's time to take the cling film off. I'm gonna pop these in the oven for about 15 minutes at 190 degrees. Okay, so now that the buns are baking away in the oven, let's get onto this oozy caramel pecan sauce. First things first, we're gonna add some butter to a saucepan. Next, we're gonna add some brown sugar. And of course, we're gonna add some sea salt. We're gonna pop this onto the stovetop until the sugar and butter has melted through. Okay, now this is what you're after. The butter and the sugar has fully melted, and now we're just gonna add some buttermilk. The buttermilk may spit at you, so just take a step back and stir very carefully. Okay, let's go back onto the stove for 1 more minute. Okay, caramel is done. And now to add a bit of texture to this dish, I'm thinking of adding some roasted pecan nuts. Now these nuts I got from Nuts Galore. Give that a good stir, and the caramel is done. Okay, so the buns have been in the oven for 15 minutes now. Let's go have a quick check to see if they're ready. Oh, look at that. Beautifully golden brown, and you can smell those spices. Now for the fun part. We're gonna pour this oozy caramel sauce right on top of these scrolls. And that, my friends, is our Chai Sticky Buns.